Welcome. You're tuned into Life is a Sacred Journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Michelle Pope.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. My name is Michelle Pope, and I am your host here every Friday morning at 8 a.m. And I just want to welcome you back. It's been a long week. It's been a crazy week. It's been pouring rain here in California, which we need, but it's been hard to commute and drive in it. So I'm so thankful that this morning you have taken time out of your busy day to join us here at Life is a Sacred Journey. We are a platform that was started a while back. First on Blog Talk Radio, and then now on this platform where we walk with not just caregivers, but individuals who are living into their best life, and so I just want to thank you for joining us this fine, it's actually not raining at this moment, beautiful morning. But I am excited. You saw that I came on a little bit early to get you guys excited as well, because we have an incredible speaker that's going to be joining us this morning just in a few minutes. But I just want to tell you a little bit about Suzan Peltekian. She is a super passionate lover of life. And so, if you know me, you know that she and I already have a lot in common. I'm going to start admitting her now so she has time to come in and hear her introduction. So Suzan Peltekian is a passionate lover of life, people, travel, adventure, transformation, contribution, service, food, fitness, and fun. I love that. I mean, all the things that make life just like that sacred journey that, I'm on. Hi, good morning, Suzan.
Oh
How
my
are
God, good
you?
morning.
Oh my gosh. And she's been making a difference with her fellow humans by having these incredible master classes, these master videos and relationship building with individuals who are looking to live their best life. We through life, and sometimes we get lost on the yellow brick road, and we can see the Emerald City, but we kind of take the wrong path, and we don't have anybody to say to us, but I thought you wanted to do this, and I thought you were dreaming about this. And that's what Suzan does. But I just want to read, because this was so beautifully written. Yes, making a difference for my fellow humans is what sparks my soul and gets my juices flowing to jump out of bed so you can live a happier, more authentic life by design, full of purpose and meaning. This is the core of who I am and why I am placed on this beautiful journey. Oh my gosh. She's also an avid reader, fast learner, and she's a personal and professional development junkie. I love that. And she's done a lot of different things. She talks about the Firewalker, 10-day silent meditation retreat. I've done silent retreats where as I told you, my first day, I could hear my own voice just in my head because I was so desperate for people. But as time went on, I realized how important silence is. And so we're going to hear more from her around her experience. And then from real estate coaching and NLP to spiritual healing and everything in between, she's committed to your success. So you can go to her website. We'll talk more about that. I spent some time in there last night, and it was just so refreshing. And so we're on a very short journey, as she says, this beautiful journey of life, as we say here, and why we are called Life is a Sacred Journey. We believe it is sacred. We believe that it is something where we need to be in control a little bit more. Not that we're saying the divine does not have control, but what we're saying is stop allowing the naysayers and the yuckity yuck to get into our DNA and keep us from living our best selves, because then we start to doubt ourselves and we start to not like ourselves and we start to follow paths that are not ours. So join me, Life is a Sacred Journey family across the United States and Europe, to say good morning to Suzan Peltekian. So good morning.
Good morning to you, Michael. It's such a joy being here with you. You are pure delight. You're a bundle of joy. And I literally reached out to you. And I'm sure I said it in my email because of the name of your podcast to begin with. So, which so resonates, and your smile just it's a delight to be here with you. And I think we're live on Facebook. So I want to
We are
say
live
hello to
on Facebook, so say
big
hello,
love.
Facebook
Big
family.
love. Big love, LA strong, USA and across the world. A big hello and my big supercharged love to all of you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be here with me.
Well, I want to get started because as always that happens with me, I fall in love with everyone that has come to Life as a Sacred Journey. They become my new BFF and we run out of time. And so I want to hear, first of all, your and sharing, it's like I always say to people, the reason we don't script this in the way that a lot of people script things is because I want it to feel like you're in my living room, I'm in your living room, and we're getting to know each other. These are the questions that I would ask somebody that I was trying to have a relationship with, meaning being in relationship, leaning in to that human being. And something that's scripted kind of keeps you from doing that, in my mind. Not saying
Yeah.
that those of you that do it, that it's awful, because we're taught that when we hear something that's not what we do, we're taught in our head that it's negative and the person is talking about you. I ain't talking about you. What I'm saying is it's not Michelle Pope. Okay? All right. So tell us, how did you get on this path, on this journey, and what brought you to it, and where are you now?
Oh, Michelle, what a great question. Thank you for that. And I always say that to people as well. It ain't about you. We're not judging. I say, in the biggest glass house. You do you, I'll do me. And I love this. Thank you. This 100% works with me. Ask away as if we're in each other's living rooms, which we are, thanks
We
to
are.
one limited mind. Yes. Yes. So how it started, this is the only thing I've wanted to do, Michelle. This is it. I just didn't believe in myself because of my own programming. And they have put a lot of viruses in us. I just finished listening to a couple of your brilliant podcasts, with the last one from last week and the ones, Michelle's Ponderings. You're beyond brilliant. And
Oh,
people really are blessed to tune into your, I love, you have such a gift. And it's what we believe. We become what we literally believe. Oprah says that. She's one of my favorites. I grew up with her, and I always wanted to be this world-class speaker and coach because my vision is to co-create yours. My mission is to touch our precious billions. And how do we do that? How do we eat an elephant one bite at a time? It's one precious soul at a time. I was on a podcast in South Africa, last week, right? And the young man goes, Susan, I don't have a lot of following. I said, young man, if we touch one precious soul, I'm not here for the following. I'm here to make a difference. And that is, we're planting seeds of love. And that is who you are. You literally, I'm not surprised as I bite my, this is live, right? As I bite my tongue. I'm not surprised you fall in love because you exude that, you're living that. I want everyone tuning in to know that that is who we are. That is who you are. That's who, there's royal blood coursing through your veins. And it's just believing. It starts with that. And that was my path. So I've done jobs, jobs. I finished University of Toronto. I'm from Canada, from Toronto. And I've done tens of odd jobs, from being a flight attendant to a teacher of English as a second language in my 20s at a college, believe it or not, to a debt collector. I thought, me with this personality, bubbly, hello, you owe us debts. Go pay now. Merry Christmas. And I actually collected. I know, right? But I thought I was getting into a customer service job. And then the last one was becoming a realtor. And I fell into it. I loved it. We get to serve people. We get to get literally into their homes without knowing them. And then we become family, like here, right? And and that's it. My heart wasn't in it. This is all I've wanted. I finally made one decision. And Michelle, if all our precious listeners can hear us out today is we're all literally one thought, one idea, one decision away. Oh, you're with me, girl. I love it. From a completely different life. And it sounds like, wow, she's a unicorn. She's out there. This may not be true, or it may be real for her. I was the most negative person. I seemed this positive, but it was all toxic positivity, all right? And it's the work. The work really works when we all have a limitless mind. That mind that created this internet, we tap into it, right? Yesterday I was on another podcast. One gal, two, God bless them, two young ladies from the States, one in LA strong, God bless you all, and
Yes.
one in Virginia. And I'm traveling to Dubai. I'm not in Toronto. So three
Oh,
different time zones. It's nighttime. 12 hours. I'm 12 hours ahead, by the way.
yeah.
And it's like, whoa, it's daytime for y'all. So good morning. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So it's
Yes.
tapping into it. And so I make the one decision, and most people are looking to have something intact to make that decision, but it's be, do, have, and I can go over the model.
Wrote it
Right?
down because I love that. I love that. Be do have says yes.
I'll go into that then. Oh, thank you. Oh, God, your energy is so beautiful. Thank you. So it's be, do, have. So let's say an example, you be decisive, then you take inspired action, the doing. It's not hustling and grinding, it's doing. And then you can have it all. That's your divine birthright. You're made in his image. These aren't words, this is reality. And we become what we think about. So if we don't think that's true, the suffering is also going to be real for us. And
Yes.
we're not born to suffer. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happens is, sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying yes, yes.
Thank you for your affirmation. You're so brilliant, Michelle. Thank you. What it is so be to have. I made one decision to retire from real estate 5 years ago last week. So it was right before COVID had hit. No idea. I had attracted through what I teach, manifestation and the law of attraction and mindset, the #1 Remax worldwide, Michelle, that happens to be a Canadian Remax brand that happens to be one that I had interviewed and declined to work with. And the owner, God bless him, he's like, why didn't you choose to work with us? I worked with another Remax. Oh, I didn't. It's rare that I dislike, much like you. I fall in love with people so easily. And I hadn't quite wasn't in alignment with the individual that had interviewed me. So I hadn't gone with, I said, young man, he wasn't a fit, the young man who had interviewed me. He goes, what's your goal, Susan? What's your vision? I said, I want to touch the billions. He's good. I'm going to help you. He filled up all my spots during COVID. And my story is everyone's. Just make the decision. It's all yours.
I love that. I love that from so many spaces. This is how the universe works, my siblings out there.
Yes.
This morning, as I was driving here, I listened to something. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it. God with Purpose, something like that. And they were talking about words, not just words that are spoken to you, but the words that you use to describe yourself, to your self thinking, and this show also talks about ageism a lot, right? We talk about that, and I was thinking, everybody says to me, "Oh, Michelle, you can't be that old," and it's like that's a chronological measure of how many days I've lived within this formulae that we 1 + 1. Okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to who I am as an individual, as a spirit person, I'm still a young teenager trying to figure this all out. And so that's where the enthusiasm and the love of life comes, not from this chronological thing that everybody is telling me, like, when are you going to retire? What are you talking about? When I die, I will retire to the next level of whatever the universe has in store. But it's exactly what you're talking about, and you've talked about in some of the couple of videos that I saw of you, is that we become what we think. And then we're easy to try to find something to blame for it, but it's really us I've been there, and so I'm not speaking from a place of not being there because I've been there. But Talk a little bit about that, because that's about the being and the doing and the living into, like you love. I love this. She has on her, Suzanne has on her website, live, love, laugh, and learn. If you ever come to my house, if you ever get to California and you come to my house, there's a placard on my front door that says live, love, and laugh. Now I need to add learn, because I'll just write it in there. But because
Oh,
you have to come into my house that way. If you can't, then I really don't. It's not that I don't like you, but my house is not the place for you then.
yeah.
Talk, Susan, talk.
You're talking and I'm tearing up. You gave me so many goosebumps from the beginning. I'm getting more. And I had a precious peak performer, one of my clients who's also a friend years ago, because whenever I'm on coaching calls, I'm like, guys,
Yes.
I'm getting bumps. He's like, Susan, do you just say that or do you actually get them? I'm like, no, I actually get them and they've become more and more. Um, you said it so beautifully. The more I'm waking up every day, and this is an ongoing practice, everything you said is golden, Michelle. Uh, it's a bunch of lies. Age is a lie that they've told us. 65, retire. And for whoever's listening in, if you choose to retire powerfully, that is again zero judgment. I live in the biggest glass house. All right, this is endless work until our last breath. And you want to add to learn. I love that as I bite my tongue again, second time today. I want to add unlearn, because what we're doing every day is each one of you is so precious beyond words and measure. If you can only get that. And I didn't realize how much I loathed myself until I did the work. I seemingly loved, I know, right? So I'm not surprised, Michelle, of all people, you said you fall in love with people, your guests, because you are in love with life. You are in the spirit of your life. You are aware of who you are. And that's number 0 on the list for each of us. We've been told so many lies. We don't know who we are. We think we're our age or our looks or the color of our skin. That is the biggest line. And a lot of us are buying into it as I get more goosebumps. And I want to wake up our humanity to who you really are, to know that there is no race. There's just one race. It's called the human race. And you are a beautiful child of the divine. And please don't get lost with the word God. If someone doesn't believe, I have clients from all over the world with different religious or non-religious. I've come up with the word Gus as well. So Gus is God, universe, spirit, whatever resonates with you. Please don't get stopped with the word, right? And just know that the divine is within you. You're made in his image. That means you are a powerful co-creator. What Michelle said there about word is so powerful, because it's not what we're uttering, because everything is energy. Words are energy. Therefore, what are you saying when no one's listening? Hack for you, life hack. Everything on your outside is what you're saying on the inside. That's your inner speech, as Neville Goddard says. And we really want to be mindful when no one's listening. What are we telling ourselves? And most of the time, we're hating on ourselves, on our bodies, on our looks, on something we did. We do a million great things in a week, and then it's one thing that doesn't go well, and we're focused on that. And right. So the age thing is a huge lie. Who you are is this brilliant, gorgeous, beautiful young lady, first of all, and age is just a number, and you are a limitless, eternal soul. And that is everyone listening in. And Michelle, being infinitely beautiful doesn't take away. We've been taught so many lies that, wow, if you have all the money, then I can't. There's infinite supply, right? So it's all about that. But it's being present to the magic within. It's really knowing who you are, which most of us don't. And if I may add, part of the reason is, of course, the big part is the conditioning. It's the conscious and subconscious mind. And when I say that we don't know, I have nothing but the deepest reverence and love for my mankind. I'm sure you can tell,
Yes.
right? For whoever, yeah. So when I say we don't get it, we don't get it in our heart. I know you're all super intelligent listening in. You get me here in the conscious. That's the masculine. That's the thinking mind. We need it. But only 2 to 5% of our results are, thank you. The heart is the subconscious. It's the feminine. It is our results. 95 to 98%, Michelle, are coming from there. So if I'm programmed for whatever reason, because of something mom said or dad said, or some um, uh, comment made by a teacher or whatever it may be, right? Now, all of a sudden, we're acting like that person. You said the words we say to ourselves. That's step number 2 in the manifestation. And I can go over that. That's super important. And that becomes our self-image.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why, in the Black culture, I really believe because of the pain of
Yes.
slavery and being told one doesn't matter, one is ugly, one is this, that we are in a state of overcompensation because of and again, friends, I'm not putting anybody down. You have to be on your journey. We all have a journey that we're on. But that, and again, my siblings who are not African American, don't take this as I'm talking about you personally. I'm talking about when you are always told your features, that you are inferior to the other. And even if you personally have never been told that you never had that in your construct, you know it. And it becomes a part of the thing that you're constantly fighting against. It could be if you're like people used to say dumb blonde. I mean, are you kidding me? So you have blonde hair, so that makes you dumb, or whatever the stereotype is. This is where we get stuck. This is what Susan is talking about. This is where we get stuck. So take us to the next phase where you're talking about the words, you're talking about the self-talk in the wee hours of the morning where you are all alone with the universe and you're self-talking weird stuff to yourself. You don't even know where it's coming from. You're talking about the heart that I've told people in the past also has a brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it doesn't function. It has to have a brain in order to do what it does. Okay, but scientifically, we now know it has a brain, and then where?
Thank you, Michelle. What you touched on there is perfectly said, and that is part of my mission, by the way, for the world to work. I don't see color, and I know that sounds ignorant, and that is a big part of what you deal with, and that you shouldn't have to as a human. That like makes me want to cry, and it is part of the consciousness, and rightfully so because of what you've dealt with. And these are the conversations we ought to have openly. And thank you. That was a great example of a dumb blonde. That's not to be said. The minute I diminish you for anything, by the way, I've diminished myself, whether it's racial, whether it's looks, that you are me, I am you. And as long as I separate and I say, you're Black, I'm not, well, that's the ego. You're right. And that entire separation, by the way, with everything that's going on, and I won't go into that, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's there is no race. We're all one. We're
Yeah.
all one. But the ego wants to keep us separate. And when we can separate with religion or color or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, no, you're someone out there versus no, we are one, you know?
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't, I always invite people to think for themselves, which is part of what I teach in my mind gyms. Michelle, that's my work in
Yes,
the
I
world.
want you to talk about it.
Right? Yeah. And so just don't believe a word I say. How did we all come? We all came here with nothing. How are we all leaving? We're leaving with nothing. And the biggest thing we are leaving behind is our legacy of who we've become or unbecome. Michelangelo's David, the beautiful Michelle, right? And that's the unlearning part, because there's a lot of CRAP and SHIT that was put in us. We're removing that every day. We're chipping. There's nothing to add to you. You're already perfection in your DNA. You're royal blood coursing through. There's nothing to add. And whoever doesn't believe me, please stop and think. How many of us goo goo gaga over a baby? Well, that was you. That was each one of you. We never made the baby wrong for crying 1 minute or laughing the next or thought that was weird. And notice it always went back, or he or she always to their natural self, which was joy. And how many of us feel joy day to day in a long periods of time? We don't, because of our conditioning, the CRAP that they put us in. You cut me off of traffic, I'm now ready to cuss at you. You know, you look at me a certain way, I'm ready to strangle you. And we're just filled with hatred, which isn't the truth that was taught by lack of awareness. All of racism is lack of awareness. When I know that you are me, I am you hate. If I cut, I'm not gonna try it. Don't try this at home. I bleed. It's all the same. No one doesn't bleed, right?
Yeah, no,
So,
yeah.
right?
And cry and all the things that we all do, and as human beings that actually would connect us if we, I've thought many times, my new sister friend, that if we could cry together a little bit more to cleanse, our souls of whatever the trauma is that separates us, we might find ourselves, and because we're always embarrassed, I've noticed this recently, in conversations where people will say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," because they're crying, and I have to say to them, "No, you should never apologize to another human being for shedding tears. That's your emotion. That's your spirit self going, I'm in here. Hello." Let it, and definitely not to me, because I'll cry with you.
Yes. What a
Yeah.
beautifully compassionate soul
Oh,
you
I
are.
can't wait to meet you in person. So tell me about your gyms, and tell our audience about your gyms, and how do they find you, participate with you, learn from you, but speak about that, because I did see that on the website as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So what I found was I'm heavily coached, by the way, as you read there, a bit part of my bio. And I love that you've done the silent retreat. I love to hear from you. And when I launch my podcast this year, you must be one of my guests.
I would
You're a
love it.
delight.
I would love
Yes,
it.
yes, thank you. Um, so I was a realtor, as I mentioned, and I've been in a lot of coaching sessions or coaches. I'm always coach as I speak. It's the one thing that was the difference that made the difference is investing in myself.
Mhm.
So I'm a huge advocate for every precious soul to find who resonates with them, of course. And what I found missing, Michelle, was one that was daily. So it's just like I go and see my trainer and work out. You don't work out once a month and then, okay, I'm done, or 10 hours one day and then, okay, I'm done, or eat healthy for 6 months and then say, okay, I'm done. So I created the Mind Gym where we're literally like this in
Yeah.
each other's living rooms every day on Zoom, but it's every day and it's with me and it's live. And it's just epic beyond words and measure because we get to co-create breakthroughs for my precious peak performers around the globe on a daily basis. And that is a big part of my work is, it's not going to be another call. I always set my intention that this is going to be our most epic coaching call yet, where I get to make a difference because of one thing that I learned from one of my coaches, mentors. You may know him. He passed away 3 years ago this time. He was in the movie The Secret, Bob Proctor. Yeah, and he has said, I actually learned from him when I mentioned that racism or whatnot, or a bunch of other stuff, not only racism, is lack of awareness. He says awareness is all there is, Michelle. So if
Yes.
we're not aware, then we're ignorant. And I
Yes.
got to put you down to feel better about myself because there's something missing inside instead of me going inwards to do the work and to realize that no, everything, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so he has said that it's awareness is key, and that's what we get to do. He has also said, taken by one of his mentors, that apparently, and these are staggering stats, only 2% of the population thinks, 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. So hear me out. This is in the movie The Secret. 60 to 70,000 thoughts apparently we have a day, but how many of them are really new thoughts that, hey, let me create the internet today? Like there's no internet, let's say. Imagine one powerful mind that you and I have access to and everyone listening to create something new that serves the world. You're in LA, 8 a.m. I'm in Dubai, 8 p.m. and we're able to meet in each other's living rooms and connect. Yesterday, complete strangers, or half an hour ago, and now making a massive difference, I hope, right?
Yeah.
So, right? So we get to literally learn, first of all, because in the manifestation techniques, I say the number one thing is knowing what you want. And that's what he would teach us, Michelle. The only prerequisite to having it all in life is knowing what we want. And we don't get what we want. There's a caveat. We get who we're being, which is the self-image, self-concept, self-identity. So if I want this exceptional world-class life where I get to be a world-class coach and serve precious souls around the globe, which has been my dream since I can remember. But number two, in who I was being, didn't believe in myself, didn't have the confidence, wasn't willing to be vulnerable, what you said there. And I was speaking to a young man in the States a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be on his podcast. It was a pre-podcast meeting. And I said specifically for men and specifically for African American men, and he agreed. And I said, I'm aware, I don't gloss over subjects, we can get into them. And I said, I know, and you're changing it, and I can't thank you enough for what your platform, your brilliant soul, and you opening these conversations up to the world so that we can actually see how much we're the same, and that it doesn't work to diminish emotions and feelings, because it's like pushing a beach ball. It's going to erupt, right? Acknowledge, feel to heal. Right? So these are the things we go through, creating the juiciest, most massive life vision for ourselves, because it's in the Bible. Although I don't teach the Bible, I don't teach theology. It's in the Bible. It says, without a vision, the people perish. And what you said there, right? So that's number one, we must create the vision. And number two, now who do we get to be? That's the unbecoming part, so that we get to know who we truly are, God's highest form of creation, this universe's highest form of creation, and now act like that. Because a lot of us say, yeah, I'm God's child, but are we acting like that? Do we act in faith? If we really knew we were God's children, how would we show up every day? I saw that because I received it. Yeah, what are your thoughts there? Why am
Well, no,
I
I just, you are saying so many things that resonate with myself, and I know many of the Life is a Sacred Journey listeners. Nancy, I'm thinking of you right now because I know you're watching. You just popped up in my brain because
better?
no, Nancy Redding, she's
Better?
a good friend, and she is a follower of Life is a Sacred Journey. And whenever I've had those moments where I'm questioning, am I doing the right thing? Michelle, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not doing it the way that the world says you should be doing it. She's the one to say to me the very thing that you said. She's like, what are you talking about? You are living into a purpose that was divinely created for you. Just believe in it and go and do it. And that's why I'm smiling, because everything that you are saying, I have done so much research, so much readings, but in my soul that I know what you're saying is true.
And thank you. It will resonate with the essence of who you are but there are so many lies, like the age question you asked, or
Yeah.
topic, right? The race topic is one. It's like, hello, because what? I'm a beautiful chocolate. I've never seen a black person, by the way. You're a beautiful chocolate. I've never seen someone black, and I find it interesting that this is how we label ourselves or each
Right.
other.
Right.
And I think we will change that. I think you're doing that.
I'm
To know
trying.
that, no, you're not trying, you're doing, you're really
Okay,
doing.
thank you, sis.
Yes, 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 no, yes. Trying is, I'm gonna try to drop this. I'm not gonna dare to, because it's gonna spill. You're doing it. You really are. Michelle, this is fantastic what you just said there. And sorry, is this the Nancy you mentioned a couple of weeks ago? I just finished listening to
Yes,
a few.
yes, she's the
Is
same
she feeling
person.
better? Is she
Yes,
better?
she is feeling better. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
good.
thank you.
Good.
You really did. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's enough BS lies out there. Yeah, that is, of course. You're so adorable. Your energy's so contagious. Your
Well, thank
energy's,
you.
yeah. And I loved it. And I loved. There's one I didn't finish. I wanted to know whether you made it to New York or not over the holidays. What? Oh, you did.
We'll have
I
to
love.
talk.
Oh, look at you. And New York is so great during Christmas. I've been, so yeah. That's
Gorgeous,
awesome.
beautiful, fun. Um, but I don't want to run out of time because I know we're in different time zones.
Well,
But
for me, I'm here for
you're
whatever.
okay? Okay, you're okay.
As
So,
long you go to midnight here, that's a few
okay,
more hours. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
no
when
worries.
you talk about being inspired by life design, life
Yes.
by design, inspired life by design, how do people tap into that? I know that they can come to your website, they can get engaged in your master gym, your mind gym, they can do other things, but just give them a little tidbit of when you say that, what does that mean?
Thank you. Great question, Michelle. So they don't have to go to my website yet or my Instagram. It's all free. And by the way, I'll run free master classes as well that you're all welcome to. It'll be all announced on Instagram. I have a free Facebook group. It's again, I
Okay.
give all this info for free. So that's part of it. But the number one thing is to literally today, not tomorrow. It's still early, y'all, for you.
Yeah.
Take pen to paper and write out. You're the author of your life. You all have heard this said. Michelle, this is the number one thing. I've spoken to so many of the precious souls who became my clients who were with various coaching companies. They wrote out the vision and then it was collecting dust like a treadmill in February, right? This vision is actually, yes, it's a working document. You can add, subtract, do whatever but once you write it, you want to repeat it every day. You want to make it alive. It's the story of your life from the morning you wake up to the time you retire at night, not retire from your job, y'all, right at night. What do you want to spend your days? What kind of contribution do you want to make to our mankind? What sets your soul on fire? What makes you happy? The secret of the law of attraction ain't a secret. It's to feel joy. It's to have fun, right?
Oh my God.
So do that while you're serving because who you are is pure liquid love. Love serves. We're here to serve our mankind. That is our job. And when you're serving, that's why I said you can be here till midnight. It's all good. I'm serving my purpose. As long as we're making a difference for our mankind, that's it. And then your heart is full. You're fulfilled. And you can go to bed. Oh, I will go to bed with a big smile on. I don't know how I'll go to bed tonight. And it don't matter, because we're here and the present is all that matters right now. So it would be to start with your vision with zero considerations. And I mean zero of time past, of what your age is, what money you have in the account, how much it's in the minus. None of it matters. Why? Because if you have a desire in your heart, the Creator put that into you. He will make it come to pass. You need to create it. You're the author, as I said, you're the captain, and you're the star of your life. You're the producer, you're the director. Bob Proctor would say, most of you act like the damn extras. I don't think he said the damn part. I hope it's okay that I did.
Yes, of course it is.
I swear a little bit more. Bob Proctor doesn't, but he said that, and I looked and thought, yeah, like the extra. Why am I living someone else's life? Let me be my true, authentic self. There's one. You're one of one. Michelle Pope. And even if there were a million other Michelle Popes, you are number one of one. And guess what? The miracle of you being here, 1 in 400 trillion chances for you to be here. Right? Is like literally pinch yourself, people. It's like don't take my word that you're magical. Just look.
Right.
And you're a co-creator. And the only difference between us and all the beautiful other creatures of this planet, whether they be elephants or pigs, is that we can think. Most of us don't. We can speak. Most of us are constantly and consistently using it against us. When I diminish you, I've diminished myself. When I diminish myself, I've diminished the Creator. It's a big F you to the Creator. Every time I look at the mirror, I'm like, what happened to me? Instead of saying, thank you, God. And I loved one of your messages there was, you said gratitude a lot, gratitude for the community. And absolutely, because without you, we won't also be here. Like you're the reason we're here. And you are the reason I'm here. And thank you for connecting us.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh.
Right?
So when you're working, and I'm not going to say working because that's a weird word in itself, but when you're walking alongside someone who is trying to figure it out, what's the first question you ask them?
What do they want? What Bob asked me. That's all. Like, so if I could give this context. So I thought because I've been loud and I've been told that I'm loud and I've been diminished for it. I have a voice that travels. Can you relate? Meanwhile, the Creator gave us a gift. Yeah.
I'm laughing at you, sister, but oh my gosh. How many times have I heard that in my head said to me by people, even professional do-gooder people, and I'm just like, it is who I am. How dare you insult me by who I am? So I resonate with you, soul sister.
Absolutely. You're a bundle of joy. Big hugs right back at you, soul sister, my soul sister. Thank you. And have you also been put down for being too sensitive? And yet no one is too much. If one is too much for one, then that they're not your people and it's all good. And we're all each other's people, by the way, if we remove the labels, right? But if you're too much for someone, then that's it. You don't resonate. We're not on the same frequency. That's all it is. But to make someone wrong, right? So thank you. Thank you. So I thought, wow, I want to the world, motivate them, go on the stages and use my voice. And then Zig Ziglar, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He has said, yeah, motivation is like bathing. Gotta keep doing it, which is part of what I do. Okay. Also, and when I learned this epic thing from Bob that we are limitless souls, that we're not our bodies, we're not our looks, we're not our names, we're not our cultures, we're not the food, none of it. We're not our roles. Like, even because, appearing on podcasts, you didn't ask me for what title I wanted. And I'm like, yeah, even the title is all my ego. Hey, I'm a peak performer. No, we're all one. We're all limitless souls. And of course, labels help sometimes, but it's the ego's thing playing its role as well, right?
Yeah.
And so when I learned, and this is really remarkable, Michelle, and whoever's tuning in, precious soul, if this I hope resonates in your core, the only prerequisite, as I said earlier, to having it all is knowing what we want. That when I learned that, I'm like, I'm spreading that. Why would I motivate when I can actually teach you that all you got to do is know what you want? And there's a big caveat. The caveat is I don't get what I want. I get who I'm being. But that's the joy of being a precious soul. All we're doing is unbecoming, removing, chipping away at David, David, which is us, right? To actually become the awareness that, hey, I am God's child. Hey, you are that precious baby bundle of joy who cried, who no one would have dared to say, hey, you're too sensitive of a baby, or you're too chubby, or your legs are too chubby, or whatever, right? We adore babies. I haven't heard someone put a baby down, but that baby is us. And now on top of that, we have all of the conditioning and all of the lies. And right, that we are removing day by day with all these great conversations with our newfound awareness. And I always say the only difference, Bob would say, between each one of us is awareness. I'd give the example of, let's say you go and stay at a 5-star resort, Michelle, the not garbage person, the garbage man or lady who are picking up the garbage, they're no less than you. They may have less money, but right? They are our brothers right? They're our human brothers and sisters. Their awareness is less. That's why that's their job at the moment. That's why you're staying at the 5-star resort. And the person who owns the 5-star resort has a different level of, that's it. And our work is to keep unlearning to become who we really are.
That's right. Oh my gosh. And I love that you use that example because I've always felt any hotel that I go to, one, I tell them they don't have to come in my room until I leave. Because there's no need. I don't need. I make my bed at home. I can make my bed or not make my bed here. And every time, it's more than just leaving a tip. I always try to leave a note to whoever is going to come in that room after me to thank them for who they are, because everybody has a place that they begin and some stay there for their whole entire lives, because if we have a spiritual caste system as well, right? Okay, so they may stay there, but at the end of the day they deserve to be told thank you. And I have seen people, and this again, folks, this is not judgment. I'm just always sharing my experiences with you because I do travel a lot. And I see people treat people who serve you so that you can travel and do the thing that you love like they are servants. And that's even, you shouldn't even treat a servant that way, right? So thank people. Our Suzanne just brought it up, and it's important to me to say to you, thank them. Say
Amen.
thank you. You know,
Yeah.
it's a dying art. Just open your mouth and say those two words and then keep it stepping, but thank people, because that's the stuff that breaks this crap that is happening in the universe right now, where we're all angry with each other just for showing up and coming out of the into the world. So I love this woman. Okay,
Like,
people. And so tell them how they find, I love you. Tell them how they find you, I see that you do have a phone number on your website, but I don't want to be the one to share it unless I didn't want to share it unless you wanted it shared. But tell us how they get in contact with you. What's the next steps? You did talk about, some stuff on Facebook and Instagram. So help us to stay
sure,
connected.
sure, absolutely. And thank you. That number, I'm happy to give it up, but we won't because it doesn't work anymore. I'm in
Okay,
Dubai.
cool.
It's a Canadian number. Thank you for letting me know. I'll have my team update that.
Yeah, yeah.
At Supercharge with Susan, where you tagged us, is the Instagram account. The That's where we will post the upcoming master classes. There may be one in the next couple months that we will launch. It's fully free. I have launched a brand new product that is Manifest Mondays for those that don't want to be in a mind gym daily. It's just once a week on Mondays, Manifest Mondays. That would be 6 o'clock your time. It's my way to supercharge you. And the link is in my Instagram bio. And then if
Okay.
you connect with us there, we will give you a direct, my team will give you a direct link to the free private Facebook group. And if you can find us right now, it's called Supercharge Your Mind to Supercharge Your Life. That's where I go live every Monday. And then on Instagram, I go live every Monday, but that may be actually very early for you guys. It's 4 a.m. your time. It's 7 a.m. Eastern. I go live to answer any and all mindset questions to serve my community as well, and our one world. And I love what you said there. I may recycle that one about gratitude, dying art. I don't like that it is. And truthfully, vitamin G is the way, and gratitude is literally the beginning and end to everything. If we can be in that state of gratitude, not words, you exude it, you embody it. So, right? To actually be it, back to the be to have, then we can literally have everything we want. Because then, even when, let's say, nothing is working out seemingly, we go into gratitude that, wow, I can breathe. So many didn't make it this morning, literally. Then, right? Or we have internet. That means we're connected. We're aware enough to actually tune in to conversations like yours, Michelle, that are making a massive difference in our world with your words, of course, but and beyond that, your energy is out of this world. And I hope you know that.
I'm learning that, and I thank you. I
Good.
thank you. I embrace that. So thank you so much. I want to give you, oh my gosh. Okay. I want to give you, this is what happens, friends. You know,
Good.
that's why this podcast will never be one of that formatted, do it within a certain minute a time. And it's because now 40 something minutes has gone by, and it has felt like 5 minutes of this incredible, just overflowing of information. Susan, I love her last name. I was practicing it this morning. Peltekian is an incredible human spirit that is doing great work out there. If you are a caregiver, you know I love you. You have a special place in my heart because of the work that I have done over the last 29 years. Um, this is a great understanding about letting go of the doom and gloom messages. Yes, it is hard, right? Particularly if the person has dementia, Alzheimer's, those kinds of things. But embracing a more powerful space where, how do I see the change in me the manifestation of being a caregiver for somebody I love, and not all of us have that honor, but I love, how is that changing me? How can I meet this person where they are? And yes, you're going to have sad, awful, struggling days, but taking that, taking a deep breath. Remember, I always say, take a deep breath first and go to Suzan's website, because this is not just for those of us that are, know about how doing vision boards and dippity doo dah. This is about those of you who are already struggling and thinking that you should give up. You can do this at any time. If you're 99 years old, you can still change the trajectory of your spirit and manifest something really wonderful. And it doesn't mean that you're not a Christian and all of the things that, you're taught that these words mean. Somebody told me you can't do yoga if you're a Christian. I'm like, excuse me, what? I don't understand. But anyway, but go and reach out to Suzan, because I feel, I know your life will be changed. And Suzan, before we leave the Life is a Sacred Journey family, share one last aha moment or one last thing that you would like to share with them until you meet them again.
My goodness, I can't believe it's done. I thank you so much, Michelle. I would invite whoever it is, caregivers in particular, giving, right? We cannot from an empty cup, so to take care of their soul, but this goes really for everyone, and there's a lot of suffering and pain there, and to actually know that this is a part of the journey, but this isn't the journey. There's so much more. And to speak to Christianity, because I was brought up as well, Christian, I think yoga, if I'm not mistaken, please don't quote me on this, means unity or union or something.
Right.
So
Right.
something. So it's again for us to stop and think instead of what they said to us, what's right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. If it works for you, all you're doing is stretching your body and being in union with your body and with mankind. It's a precious thing, right? And right. Thank you.
Yes.
But I would invite everyone to really take pen to paper and create their lives the way they want it, without considerations, and then from there get curious about knowing themselves, knowing how magical, how truly exquisite you are, and how you are made in his image. That means the divine is within you. And really, the knowing isn't here. I know everyone understands me here, but knowing in your heart of hearts, and really living from that place, living from the future fulfilled, knowing that if you once you create that because you've desired it, that's the seed that the Creator put in you. It will come to pass when you keep that burning desire alive within you and stay connected in all of our communities, and Michelle's beautiful, it's Facebook now, and a Sacred Journey podcast. And environment is truly everything, and I feel blessed to have met you, and I thank you and honor you for inviting me today.
Well, I am so excited. And I know the Life is a Sacred Journey family will be excited at what the folks that are online are already talking, and those that will see you later on down the road. And stay for one more second, if you would.
As much as you need. I could even give lots of tips. I never spoke about any, or we can do a part 2, part 3.
Yeah, let's do a part 2 with that. And I want to have you back for sure. But I want Suzan to stay, because many of you don't know, but usually what happens at the end of Life is a Sacred Journey, when I leave you or we leave you, I have a few minutes with each of the guests so that we can talk about future visits to Life is a Sacred Journey, build relationship, because I don't, this is not a business for me in the sense that the normal way of doing business. This is about building relationships with as many people across the whole universe that I can. But if you are out there this morning, you know how we end Life is a Sacred Journey. If you are out there this morning and you are depressed and you are sad and you feel that the world does not love you and it would be better off without you, that is a lie. The world would not be better off without you. The very fact Susan told you this morning, that the fact that you are here is a miracle in itself. And so those dark moments happen. They've happened to me. Believe it or not, I have lived with depression for a very, very, very long time. And I've learned through all the things that our guest this morning spoke about, to move beyond it. And when it happens, talk to myself and to say to myself, that's not you. That's just the world making you feel bad at this moment. But I know sometimes you can't do that. So pick up the phone, find a phone. 988 is the hotline for anyone that is getting to the point where doom and gloom is bringing you down. And know that even though I cannot be there to walk with you, to hug you myself, to tell you that you matter, I'm telling you now, and I'm sending you a hug, that you matter. And the world would be an awful place without you. Hang in there one more second, one more minute, one more hour, one more day, one more week, one more month, one more year, and somebody will reach out and give you a hand, and things will get better. Things do always get better. You know, as Annie said, the sun will come out tomorrow. All right? Hang in there, friends. Go out, pet a cat, pet a dog, my favorite beastie, hug a tree, and be the best person that you can be, because when you give it, you'll get it. I promise. And let's just, again, I know you're out there, friends, a round of applause for our new BFF, and she will be back. We will have a round 2, Suzan Peltekian, and you know, reach out to her because she has a lot of good stuff for you. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Don't drive too fast. Be love, give love, and we'll see you next week.